Hello and welcome to my channel. For those of you new around here, hi, I'm Lauren. Make yourself comfortable. So today is I'm doing my first ever sit down video. Now normally I just vlog, mostly about travel, lifestyle. You'll know if you've seen, like, go and watch my other videos. They're pretty good, even if I do say so myself. Anyway, so today I'm doing my January favourites. I've never done a sit down video before, as I've said, and I'm a little bit nervous. And also I should point out, I'm really sorry if like this camera is a bit like that, like the angle's funny, because basically I have never used my tripod before and it's not very good. I will have to buy a new one. It's really rubbish. But to make the camera straight-ish, I've had to balance a book on top of my tripod to like balance it. So I don't know if it's worked, fingers crossed. But yeah, so I thought I'd get that out of the way. So in terms of, I'm doing my January favourites today. I can't remember if I've said that. I told you I'm a bit nervous. But in terms of favourites, I don't have a lot of beauty, mostly because I've put myself on a buy ban, so I haven't tried anything new. But I've got a couple, but mostly my favourites are books, Netflix recommendations, podcasts, things like that. So we'll start with beauty first because there's less of it, and then we'll get into the rest of the video. So my first favourite this month is Rimmel's Lasting Finish Breathable Foundation. Now, I recently mentioned this in a post as a rediscovered beauty favourite, and it kind of is and it kind of isn't. Basically, a couple of years ago, Rimmel had a foundation called Lasting Finish Nude. And I loved it. It was really lightweight, it was really breathable, it gave good coverage, and the finish was kind of like dewy but not too much. Anyway, this has basically replaced that in the product lineup. So it's very, very similar in terms of formulation and finish. And it's really, really nice. I'm wearing it today. I really love the effect it gives. It looks very natural, but it covers everything I want it to, and I really like it. The only really difference is this has more of a fresh matte finish rather than a dewy one, and also it has this giant doe foot applicator, which I kind of love and kind of hate. It's not very hygienic obviously, but makes it very easy to apply and it's fun. But yeah, so that was my first favourite. So my second favourite today is Lip Coat. Lip Coat is, I feel like it's been around, is it focusing? There we go. Lip Coat, I feel like it's been around for a really long time. It's a very sort of 90s product, but basically what it does is it seals your lipstick on and makes it really hard to come off. It gives you amazing wear time. Like I've put it on today and nothing. So it just makes your lipstick last a really, really long time. I think it's fantastic. The only thing I will say is that it does smell like nail varnish. It feels like water when you apply it, but it does like smell like nail varnish, but that doesn't last. It's brilliant. Definitely recommend it if you wear lipstick a lot. It's great. So my next favourite is the Elemis Pro Collagen Cleansing Balm. Now this has just come out. I haven't literally used any of this one yet. It's brand new, but I did use up a sample pot I had. It smells really nice. Basically I think with rose scents it's quite tricky to get the balance right, so you like get like really soapy old lady scents, or you can get quite fresh scents. This is definitely more on the fresh side, although it does have a bit of a duskiness to it, which is more of the old lady, but it's very, very subtle, but it's a really, really lovely cleanser. So basically it's a natural cleansing balm. I think it contains wax. I can't remember what the ingredients are off the top of my head, but basically you dissolve it between your fingers, you melt it down and then apply it, and it removes literally everything off your face in terms of makeup, dirt, grime, things like that, not like your nose. And it just smells really lovely. It takes everything off really quickly, but it also, while you're working it into the skin, it feels like you're giving yourself a facial. It's just really luxurious feeling and it's really lovely. So definitely a big fan of this. My last beauty favourite is the Deep Relax Bath and Shower Gel from Aromatherapy Associates. It's not focusing, there it is. So I use a capful of this in the shower every night. I'm not really a bath person, I don't have the patience, but I use this every night before I go to bed, and it just smells so nice. I just use a capful and rub it into my chest, and it's just such a lovely calming scent. I think it really helps me sort of relax and get a better night's sleep. I actually have quite a few of the I have quite a few of the aromatherapy oils. I've got their Support Breathe, and then I've got a couple of the sample sizes of the Revive Morning and Relax Mind, I think. and they're just really, really lovely. But this, I've been using this every day for the whole month, and I mean, it's only a small bottle and it's lasted really well. I've used just over half, so I definitely think I'll be buying the big bottle of it, but it just smells really nice. I'm not really sure what the notes are. I think there's a bit of orange in there, and it's kind of more on the spicy side, but it's just really calming and lovely. So yeah, definitely recommend these. So that's all my beauty favourites done, but I've actually got loads of like music and Netflix and book recommendations, and I thought I would start with this one. So this is the Nirvana MTV Unplugged album. I actually treated myself to this for Christmas, and I got an MP3 download with it, so I've been listening to it on my phone pretty much constantly. And my favourite songs are The Man Who Sold the World, which is a David Bowie cover. I never know how to say his name. I say David Bowie, but apparently it's David Bowie. Anyway, The Man Who Sold the World is beautiful. I love the opening riff, which is sorry, I'm trying to learn that on the guitar, but the opening riff is incredible. And also oh, what's it called, Plateau is brilliant, as is Where Did You Sleep Last Night. But I have been loving this album. I even bought it for my stepdad for Christmas on CD, so he had it in his car. It's just, I'm a really big Nirvana fan anyway, but this album is, hearing those songs like stripped back and acoustically done, it's just gorgeous. And there's something really raw and vulnerable about Kurt Cobain's voice. Obviously this album was done just a few months before he died, so that's quite sad, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous album. I really love it a lot, and I especially love listening to it on vinyl because I just think there's something so magic about it. I have about 60 or 70 vinyl albums now, and I listen to them quite a lot, and I think the thing that I like about them most is it kind of forces you to stop and listen, because obviously you can like choose the songs, but you have to like really nail the needle placement to get it right, and it's just easier just to listen to the whole album. But I think you discover a lot more songs that you wouldn't know about necessarily if you just listen to it on your phone. Like, you'd skip through a lot of songs. And I think there was a Biffy Clyro album, actually. Obviously I'm a big fan, see, but there's a Biffy Clyro album, I think it's the first one, Blackened Sky, which I got, I think, for a birthday present last year actually, and I was playing that, and there's a song on that called Convex Concave, which is a song I love, but it's a song that had I listened to it on my phone I would have just sort of like skipped past, because it starts off and it's a bit like shouty and screamy, which I like but not that much. Whereas if you listen to the lyrics and actually like pay attention to the song, and I think that's what vinyl forces you to do, it forces you to pay attention to the music you're listening to, it's gorgeous, and I just love it a lot. So yeah, very big fan of that album, and just of vinyl in general. I love buying vinyl. I think that will probably be a monthly reoccurrence of things coming up, like just what album I've bought and loved this month. So yeah, love that a lot, definitely recommend it. And if you are like a proper music fan, which I am, then like vinyl is definitely the way to go in terms of like to relax and to listen to music to relax. I'm not sure what my point is here, but I love vinyl and I love that album. So my next recommendation is a book. I listened to this on Audible, so I don't actually have it here physically to show you, but it is Jog On by Bella Mackie, who has the most soothing voice I've ever heard. It's just, there's something really lovely about her voice. It's quite husky, it's just very nice. But I normally prefer to read books rather than listen to them, although I do like it sometimes. But I just absolutely adored this book. It's so wonderful. It's about how she has not overcome but has found a way to cope with her mental health issues through running. It's very funny, it's very brave, it's very smart, it's very I think it's very sincere, and I think that's the important thing about it and why I liked it so much. It's that she's not trying to sell you anything, she's just telling you her story, and she's telling you it in a really non-judgmental way, and I absolutely loved it. She's very non-judgmental as well in terms of how she talks about mental health and how it's impacted her and how it impacts others, and it's just it's wonderful. I loved it a lot. It's kind of almost inspired me to go running. I've downloaded the Catch to 5K app on my phone, and that's as far as I've got at the moment. But it's really cold is my excuse, and dark when I get home from work, but I will go running soon. But I really loved it, and I think if it's something you've struggled with, then it would be it's really nice to listen to. I think it makes people feel less alone, because I know that mental health issues is very isolating. Having them is very isolating, and it's wonderful. And I mean, I personally struggle with OCD and low moods and things like that, and I know that when I exercise, there's a significant impact on those things in a good way. So I loved it a lot. I found it very inspiring, and I probably will buy the book to read it as well. But like I said, Bella Mackie's voice is amazing. While we're talking about books, I thought I would show you my next one, which is The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck by Sarah Knight. Now, this is a very famous book. It came out a long time ago, but it's really, really good. I haven't finished it yet. I am about 2/3 of the way through, but I don't know how life-changing it's going to be in terms of like radically changing my life, but I definitely think that there are some really useful tools in here that can be used in my everyday life. Basically, it's all about how to care less about the things that you don't care about and have them take up less of your time. It's really good, it's very funny, and it's very easy to read, and I think it's a really good idea to read this at this time of year, as it kind of gives you a real shot in the arm. Now, I recently wrote a post, I'll link it below, about why I won't be giving myself New Year's resolutions this year, but not having New Year's resolutions is different from believing in self-improvement, and I believe everyone can improve themselves. We're all works in progress after all. And this was a really good one for how basically to stop wasting your time. And there was one thing she says that really resonated with me in terms of time, and that's basically that you start running out of time from the moment you're born, but things like energy and money, they're all renewable. So that was really interesting. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun making my things I may or may not give a fuck about list, which is at this bit, which is where the bookmarker is. And I think I can't fully remember what was on my list, but I think bullshit emails was on the no fucks list, and I think Dairyly Triangles was on the fucks list. So it was a lot of fun. If nothing else, I had a lot of fun, but I've really enjoyed this, and I will be reading her other books. I've already got what are they called? I know Calm the Fuck Down's a new one. I don't have that one yet, but I've got the other two as well, so I will be reading those. But I've really enjoyed it. It's really interesting. I found it a good read, and yeah, I like it a lot. So if you're looking to sort of motivate yourself and stop wasting your time on things, then I definitely recommend this. Okay, so my next favourite is the show Catastrophe on Channel 4. Now, I only recently started watching this. I think I started watching it at the beginning of the month, but then got distracted by other things. But it's brilliant. So basically, it stars Rob Delaney? Yeah, it's Delaney and Sharon Horgan, and they have a 1 week stand, and Sharon ends up getting pregnant, and it's basically their journey as a couple. It's very, very funny. There's some real heartwarming moments. There's also some quite like blackly comic moments. I just think it's brilliant. So I've just started season 2, and I really enjoy it, and I just think it's one of those things that I've kind of come really late to this party, but I'm so glad I'm here now. So if you're also not at the party or late, get on it, because it's brilliant. So my next favourite is also another TV show, and it is Sex Education on Netflix. Oh my god, it's so good. I literally watched it all last week, and I don't really binge watch things. I don't really have the patience for it. I lose interest in things quite quickly as well. Sort of my attention span runs at 45 minutes and then I have to do something else, which works really well, because actually Sex Education is 45 minutes long per episode, but it's brilliant. It's so funny, it's visually stunning to look at. They've made some really interesting sort of artistic choices. So basically, before I get into what the show is actually about, it's set in a UK high school, but it's like an American high school, so they have Letterman jackets and lockers and things like that, which is not something we would normally have. You're not quite sure what time period it's set in. It's meant to be contemporary because they all have phones and laptops and stuff, but the clothing and the sort of general style of things, like the whole vibes, is very sort of early 70s to late 90s. So yeah, and the fashion is incredible. Like the main mainish character, Maeve, I think she's the second, like the romantic lead anyway, her style is incredible. So and just so my like entire desired aesthetic when I was 16 and kind of now as well. But basically it's about this kid Otis. He's sort of like your standard shy nerdy guy, but his mum is a sex therapist. His mum is played by Gillian Anderson. She is amazing in it. Her character's amazing. It's so good. And anyway, he ends up setting up a sex therapy clinic at school with Maeve, his crush, and it's just so funny and it's very sweet and it's very heartwarming and very clever. I just think it's the best show that I've seen on Netflix, like bar none. It's so good. Apart from Stranger Things. Stranger Things is also a favourite. Not this month, just in general. But it's just brilliant. And the characters of Eric, who is Otis's best friend, and Amy, who is Maeve's best friend, are amazing. They are the funniest and have kind of like the nicest story arc by far. It's so good. So if you haven't watched it yet, you need to watch it. And I mean, I've been like forcing everyone to watch it, and this guy at work's been watching it and he hasn't finished it yet, and I need to talk about the ending with him. But it's so good. I really love that, so definitely get on it. It's brilliant. So that brings me to my last two favourites. I'm going to talk about them together because they're kind of very well-known podcasts that I've just sort of caught on to. So the first one is The Guilty Feminist, which is a complete success. Everyone knows about it, so I won't ramble on about it too much. I just think it's really funny, it's really honest, it's really relatable. I've laughed out loud at it. There have been moments where I felt really sad. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's an absolutely fantastic podcast, and I really like that I'm a feminist but thing that they have at the beginning, the feature. I just think it's so funny and it's so relatable as well, like that I'm a feminist but I went on a women's march and got distracted by a department store. That wasn't the full story, but that's the general vibe, and it's so funny and it's brilliant. And my second one is Table Manners with Jessie Ware. Again, this is a very popular podcast which I have come to quite late, but I think it's brilliant. It's so lovely and heartwarming, and there's something very comforting about it, and I can't really describe what I mean by that other than it gives you like a warm fuzzy feeling when you listen to it. So basically, for those who don't know, it's the singer Jessie Ware, who sang Say You Love Me, which is a great song, and her mum Lenny Ware, and they have famous people over for dinner and they interview them and they talk about their favourite food and stuff like that. And I think that's such an excellent vehicle for finding out people's stories. It's kind of like Desert Island Discs, where the food is the point but it's also kind of incidental. But anyway, I think it's fantastic. Favourite episodes include Annie Max, which was brilliant. They were talking about how her career has got better since she's had children, and it's just fantastic. And also she has a lovely speaking voice. She's Irish, it's wonderful. I like people's voices, isn't that weird? Anyway, Adam Buxton was a highlight. I loved his episode. It was it was recorded at Latitude. It was a live podcast record, and it's so funny. He just starts throwing cherry tomatoes at the audience, and it's so funny. Lenny is so scandalised by that. And then Sandy Toksvig episode as well is fantastic. Now, I love Sandy Toksvig. I could listen to that woman talk forever. Her episode of Desert Island Discs is also a favourite of mine. And it's just fantastic. So those two I think are really good podcasts. I'll keep you posted if I have any more. So those are my January favourites. I hope you enjoyed my first ever sit down video. I hope I didn't speak too fast, but let me know if I did. And if you liked, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications and all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!